With us in the studio is a security consultant, Richard Amoa. Good morning and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me. Good morning.
Yes. This doesn't look like a random case of killing. With the details available to us, this was a deliberate, well thought out plan and well executed too.
Yeah, it's funny because I tried to follow the story, but it's very sketchy.
Yes.
Because we don't know whether the guy is involved with any business deal with anybody, or if there's any misunderstanding with somebody. According to the story from the neighbor that we heard, was he went to pick a relative
At the airport.
at the airport. So is it like he was trailed from the airport, thinking maybe the person just coming in for the first time? I know how it is. Like we keep telling people that. Sometimes when you go pick people from airport into just be very careful. Know who is following you, know what we are doing. It's very, very important. So it could be like it's not the guy they came for, or maybe he's trying to struggle with them or something.
But then from the information we got as well, we understand that the assailants, when they got in the compound of the house, they asked the neighbor downstairs who the owner of the vehicle was. And then when the neighbor told them, they went upstairs and nothing was taken from his apartment apart from the fact that it was shot.
So that I'm saying, so it's very, very, very sketchy. So we cannot, for me, I cannot really come up with any the reason why these guys really attacked this. Like I said, I've tried since yesterday. When I'm coming here, try to follow up on the story.
Yes.
There's nothing.
And like you said, it's quite sketchy. But hearing from the Lagos PRO, police PRO, Larry, the famous school, has been quoted as saying it looked like a business gone sour, or there are links with cultists, in school, or some. It's really, really, it's totally mind-boggling. And you want to ask, why would anybody want to take out this young man? His wife is expecting their second child.
Know what it says? I think the situation in the country right now really, really means that a whole lot of people need to be very careful, seriously. Whatever you are into, whatever you are doing, you need to be aware of what you are doing with people. Because sometimes, like I said, this guy's issue just looks so, since he won that stuff from that, whatever he,
2006, that's a long time.
That's a long time.
Yeah.
So he's been trying to build on his career and all that stuff, and it's not even on limelight to say that, okay, the guy is really a big celebrity and all that stuff. So I think for me, as a security person, looking at what happened, and with what the police said, there are so many angles the police is going to be looking at: business, relationship, the person he went to pick, and his friends. Because right now there's
what kind of friends?
Thank you. And again, when like we always say again, because in this kind of situations, we have to now come up with security plans and details. When we live in a compound like that, maybe 4 block of flat, 6 block of flat, I tell people that we need to be each other's keeper. Because when they asked after him, they went upstairs straight and they heard a gunshot. The next thing, just disappeared. Nobody saw them. And so it's becoming a trend in Nigeria right now with issue of people just being assassinated, ritual killing, and just finding their own way. So with this issue of Hector, the police really need to do a great job. They say they've arrested some people. Maybe the people they arrested will give them clear
pointers. Really. So what security lessons can be learned from this?
Yes, really? A whole lot of security lessons. Number one, being conscious of your environment every time. It could be that these guys have followed the trading from airport, and there's no way as a driver, like what we say, security. Now when you drive, I tell people that that's what we call security driving, not just safety driving anymore. Safety driving is for you to know that you want to be very defensive when you're driving, but security driving means right now when you are driving, the moment you are, for example, from that kind of sensitive zone, which is the airport, you need to know who is following you. At every time you make a detour, are you making use of your rear mirror and your inner mirror? Meaning that you must know. And if you are not comfortable with that somebody's following you, you detour. You make a change of your. And again, because of excitement, most time maybe we want to pick someone from the airport, we just go straight into conversation. One thing a whole lot of Nigerians to understand that times have changed. I'm telling you, maybe at the end of the day, you could find out that this guy, yeah, like we said, maybe they didn't kill, they didn't take anything from his house. Maybe because there's nothing to be taken, or maybe the guy resisted them. They want to fight them, and the minute they shot, they know that there's going to be noise, so they took off immediately. So they couldn't pick anything. So there's a whole lot of lesson. When there's an attacker, just cooperate with them. If they want to take anything, let them take it. Except it's an assassination issue. But if not, so the security situation there, just like, again, let's take, taking away from Hector, look at what happened in the church, that the Reverend Father was shot soon. Yeah. Now, that's another security situation. Now, the church is saying that we cannot search everybody that comes to church. But there's need for us to put in place some physical security measures. How? You see a whole lot of churches that take massive people, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000.
Without any checks at the entrance?
We
can't continue to deceive ourselves. Tests have changed. Tests have changed. So we need to install. Those churches have generators 24 hours most time. What stops us from having some security CCTVs? And again, when the pastors or the Reverend Fathers, if they want to have a one-on-one meeting with people, what stops you seriously from having somebody to be there?
Well, could it be just any random somebody or an armed?
No. It could be somebody. You see, most of them have security details right now. You see, when they want to go to private session, you see, because like I'm saying, a desperate measure would say what?
Desperate situations call for desperate measures.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So we need to start understanding these things. So for those of us who think that, for me, seriously, I could say, oh, I don't have money, I'm not involved in this, I'm not involved in that. But you don't know who is following, you don't know who. So we just need to be aware of our environment. I said it time number. If Nigerians are aware of the environment, 50%, I'm telling you, you will be as much as be safe.
Now, speaking of the, coming from the airport, it's not the first time that somebody's been trailed, actually. Yeah. There are different stories that we can't even begin to reel out of people coming from the airport, and you have these assailants actually, going after them. Yeah. And like you said, it's possible that because of the gunshot, they had to quickly scamper away, not to be arrested. But this looks like assassination written all over it. If you were to dissect, some of the pointers, what would be your conclusion as a security expert, on the likelihood?
For me, I will not come to any conclusion right now.
Okay.
Yeah, I won't come to any conclusion in the sense that there could be more to it. Seriously, there could be more to it. The fact that they trade him, we're going to look at that angle. We're going to look at his business angle. We're going to look at his relationship angle. So there are so many things police are going to look at right now. But again, being able to have somebody who will come up and give an evidence to say, okay, this is what I saw. Like the police commissioner said they've gotten some...
Three people have been
arrested and they've gotten some evidence from the scenes of the crime. So maybe that one we help them. Again, don't forget that in Nigeria, our forensic investigation is not really... So those are the things. If we have forensic investigation, investigation is really taken into consideration when we do this kind of thing. That place could have been conduct of the footmark, the hand, all those stuff would have been taken. But in Nigeria, tell me, the
and
moment
no
that
DNA,
happened,
no DNA data to fall back on.
You see, so our data is, we don't have a data to say, okay, let's look at those. If, for example, we have matched their fingerprints and their foot and other. Where's the data to go link back to link them to? So there's so much. You see, when we talk about security, we keep saying it. The security is not just about a government provide guns, provide all the ammunitions, provide. You see, those things are good, but we need to go back to the basics.
The technological approach to fighting crimes.
The basis of how can we be proactive in stopping these things. Again, I take you to what the church again. Why am I linking these two? Because they look so
similar.
The Catholic head is saying governments need to go and need to be security, need to up their security game. I ask myself, I keep saying it, and I'm upset. How many security personnel do we even have in Nigeria? I keep saying it. UN said 400 people to
one citizen.
And here we have close to 700 or to 800 citizens to a policeman.
But isn't that the more reason for the government to, like I said earlier, and of course you have harped on the need to engage in technological model of fighting crime? For example, if Nigeria, yes, the largest economy in Africa, and yet CCTV cameras are not everywhere.
That's what
Imagine if there were some on the stretch of the airport road.
Yes.
They would have got visuals of the vehicle that trailed the guy to his house.
You see, it's very, very embarrassing today that in this 21st century, that Nigeria, as big as we claim to be, that these little things are not. And I always give an example of UK. Today, UK don't use manpower anymore. It's technology. You know, okay, let's even assume that, okay, there's a picture I saw in one of the television yesterday when I was watching the news, that even a television that was mounted in Abuja has been vandalized. Has been vandalized. It never even worked. If it's working, there's no way it could vandalize it.
Yeah, and like you said, you know, there's a need for us to up our security game. Obviously, the times have changed, and we've taken our personal or corporate security for granted over you know, for a very long time. So now, should it be something that legislation should help? Take Lagos, for example. If Lagos came out with a law saying every you know, corporate organization, every individual should install at least one CCTV within its premises, as part of a way of, you know, security operatives being able to tackle or track, you know, some of these crimes when they happen.
We don't need a legislation. We don't. You see, when it has to do with life, it's something that business organization, individuals to be encouraged. Again, taking.
But how do you encourage it without legislation?
See, with this kind of crime, with the crime rate in Nigeria right now, every business owner, shop owner, 1 or 2 CCTV. Connected to the police stations, but the police station are going to connect those things to. Are they really viable? How many of them have electricity? How many don't even have generator that works? For example, if you say, okay, we have Ikeja area F, and we have some police stations, go there and see that most of these police people are living in a container. You know, so you see, the situation is bad. It's really, really bad. So if we said, okay, let's assume that every home, every business, you know, their system is going to be attached to the police station. Let me tell you something right now. We keep talking about kidnapping. You see, the anti-kidnapping equipment is all over the world right now.
We are about to wrap up, but I need to let you comment on this one. Yes, the medical aspect of this one. You heard a neighbor of the disease saying that he could have survived if he was attended to immediately, was taken to the hospital, but yet treatment was delayed. And this almost every time harps on the need for medical practitioners to be up and doing when bullet victims are taken to hospitals across the country.
Sometimes I'm really confused because you go out there, the doctor will tell you another story, the police will tell you another story. The truth of the matter is that, time without number, we have said it that once there is an accident victim, there's a bullet wound, let the person be treated so that you can actually get evidence for that person. But a situation where doctor refuses such people is very, very bad. And again, it shows the third world country that we're in. So, and again, I'm very sure, I know there's a legislation from National House of Assembly that says that hospital must treat a bullet wound or whatever it is so that that person could be alive to say exactly
maybe there's not enough orientation, you know, going on to let the medical personnel know that look, this is how you should respond.
They know. I think this is really. I think there's a gap between the police and the medical practitioners.
Well, it's always about implementation. And thank you for your analysis, Richard Amoa, security consultant. Thank you for coming to the studio.